No, Shannon, we're not kidding you. It really is the Real Housewives of Orange County after show here at AFTERBUZZ TV, Season 11, Episode 8. Shannon gets her groove back, coming at you right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to the after show, of course, for Rock here at AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Grant Rutter, and you can find me on Twitter at Grants__rants. And joining me tonight, the full panel.
Hey, everybody, my name is Christy Olson, and you guys can always chat with me at Christy Reports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Orlina. You could find me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook.
Hi, everyone. I'm Blake V, and you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Blake V Media.
All right.
And we're listening to the new Britney song.
Yes, it's so good.
Yes.
I do count on you guys to expose me to the new Britney jam.
Yes.
Every week I'm like, what do we have?
Yes.
What do you have for me today?
Album dropping at the end of this week, and don't miss her on the VMAs on Sunday. All right.
Super excited.
Bring your own python.
Yes. Did you see the promo that they had?
That
the
was
two
good.
promos. I can't. Like,
Grant.
I was out of control.
Grant can't take it.
We need to talk about OC. It's something I'm equally as excited about, of course. Tonight, the episode belonged to Shannon, pretty much, I think we can say.
Yeah.
And for once, it wasn't crying and kneeling over fake gravestones. We're in a better place.
We're in a way better place now.
But before
I,
we
for
get
one,
into-
am so thankful.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
So thankful.
Megan, we'll talk about her at the start of this episode. She starts off by filling in her mom with the dropping of the C word at the supposed to be relaxing, authentic Chinese restaurant, or where they were Japanese or whatever they were doing. And yeah, so they then go to get the implementation. She calls up her husband. Is they're going to go with the boy or the girl? And what do they end up going up with? Both.
One girl, one boy.
Yes.
Yes.
The strong girl
The
and the boy.
strong
Yes.
girl. Yes.
Well, then we cut over to Heather, and she is, quote, exhausted and damaged from the dinner the night before. I
don't
love it.
blame
I
her
love the
one
dramatics. Yes. She's completely out of it. So she meets with Tamra at this, like, book, like make your own, like all stick kids in front of computers store. I don't know. And yeah, they just.
I thought it looked fun.
Yeah.
It was
Like if
cute.
I was 8, I think I'd be all about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
You know?
Yeah. Because if that were the kid, like, was around when we were 8, you would have had to,
Yeah.
like, write it in an actual Mad Lib book and then, like, send it in and wait 2 to 4
Oh, yeah.
weeks for it to
Yeah.
come to you. Yeah.
Mad Libs were a
Completely.
good time.
Mad
Libs
Libs were
fun.
great.
Yeah.
And this sort of looked like maybe a choose your own adventure, put your own,
Yeah.
you know, like create your own thing. Maybe I'd like it now.
Right?
Maybe I'm going to go.
do it.
Get my own book made.
Hey, a glass of
It
champagne.
looks like it was
There
in the
you go.
Irvine Spectrum. I was trying to figure out where it was.
Yeah,
I thought it was
probably.
over there. Yeah, they like to do that. I noticed they go there quite a bit. You know what they shot there for some reason? I just always remember when Vicki's assistant got waxed. Remember that in the very beginning, way back when?
Was it the Spectrum?
Yeah, it was at the Spectrum. Because I was there and I was like, I know this wax studio, but I've never been waxed. How do I know this? I was like, well, it has to be Housewives. So what else can we say? Tamra and Heather both kind of come to a conclusion that they don't know how to proceed with Kelly. No one really knows how to handle Kelly unless if you're Vicki. But, you know, speaking of Kelly, she
Right.
goes over to Megan's apartment, or Megan's house, sorry, and they bond over IVF and all of that. And then Megan says that she's on Shannon's side, and she basically distanced herself from Kelly from the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Valium Megan, don't lie.
Yes.
So true.
I'm glad that she did that because, you know, you need that friend that's going to put you in check and not just support you because they're your friend.
Yeah.
It's like if she really felt like something was wrong, I'm glad that she addressed it with her friend. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Right.
And I was really glad to see how it all went down. Megan definitely shared her point, which I thought were some very good points. I was with her the whole way. I thought the same way of Kelly, the way she reacted. And Kelly took it really well. She cried a little bit. She admitted she was wrong. She felt bad. She shouldn't use that language. And she sort of took Megan's criticisms really well.
Yeah.
And she just was like, oh, I totally agree. Thanks for being the greatest friend.
Yeah, there was a second there I was like, is she being sarcastic? Is she gonna flip on Megan right now? But it was okay. It was okay. She wasn't sober.
Because I could easily have seen Kelly like get defensive with Megan
For sure.
and be like, "Oh, really? This is what you're telling me? I'm not having any of this." But she didn't, so that was nice.
Yeah, I'm glad she did
We can
that.
give her props for that.
Kelly did say that she was defensive at the dinner because she never dealt with people like that came at her in that specific way, and that she feels that she was provoked.
I can see that a little bit. I mean, I feel like, you know, she's talked about her anger issues in the past, so I feel like with her, she's just gonna have to grow throughout the season and just hopefully, you know, she's looking at Vicki as a mentor. So
I was surprised to hear her say that. You know, a lot of her family drama from the last several years is out in public now. There are court records, there have been restraining orders and accusations of violence, both on her part, her husband's, the ex-fiance's current wife or wife at the time or something. She and Kelly got into it. Kelly has dealt with people having a problem with her,
Yes,
to say
she
the
has.
least. She's had a lot of drama in her life in the last few years. I'm surprised that this thing with the ladies, with the Real Housewives, is really getting her that upset that she acts that out of character.
Yes, and that's really interesting you bring that up because for her to say and acknowledge that she has this anger problem, well, how do you know you have an anger problem unless you've been pushed to that level to present the anger?
yeah.
So
I don't think she was telling the truth at all.
Yeah, she said she's never had girls like this treat her like this, but then who's she angry with? Only her husband? He's the only one that makes her violent and angry? Like what? That's an interesting dynamic.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I was going to say with her is I don't feel like she was provoked at that dinner. I feel like she was provoking Shannon by talking louder and louder and looking over, and I thought Shannon was pretty much in control. So
I think she was holding it in from the last part from Shannon's party, and I felt like that was her time to really have everybody back and then just unleash. But it was awful. It was.
It
pretty
really
bad.
was. It was really handled poorly. We can all agree.
Well, and then a conversation took a little bit of a left turn when she told Megan, well, when you have your own kids, you'll understand about defending yourself. And we saw last season that Megan doesn't like to be made to feel like she isn't already a mother.
Yes.
For sure. And, you know, I know that she spent a lot of time with Haley and that Haley has lived with she and Jim for a couple years. But, you know, Jim's younger children have never lived with Megan. They've always lived with Alice and in wherever the heck Jim goes to all the time and where he played baseball.
St. Louis.
Yes, thank you. So, I mean, she's never been a parent to young children, really. I get it too. I haven't been a stepmom or a real mom, but I just think she gives herself a tad too much credit as far as the stepmom thing goes.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I mean, props to
well,
her for wanting to have that connection with them and wanting to be an involved stepmother, but I think you're still a stepmother, and I'm sure Allison would like to remind her of that.
Yes. Well, let's take a look at the first part of the surprise with Shannon and David. And David surprises her. He says they're going on an overnight. And then she has this very long list of things she has to get.
That was wild.
Oh my God, I couldn't even keep track. I was just like, and you need what?
She's
and
like
you need
half an hour
what?
for toiletries.
Distilled water.
Yeah, half of it was for the nasal flushing.
The nasal flushing. She needed a whole machinery for something. Was that also the nasal?
I think so.
The nasal needed machinery. Okay.
One night. Oh my
She
God.
needed hormones. She needed
vitamins.
She needed her vitamins.
Oh, and a toothbrush. Last but
and
not
a
least.
toothbrush. Don't forget the toothbrush.
I really like this whole. I mean, I've never really been pro Shannon, but I'm really happy for her. She is so deserving of this. We all saw what she went through the last, year and a half, and I give David all the props. I want someone to do that for me.
It really was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and last year he kind of tried to try. He displayed a
tried
little
to
bit
try.
of effort, and she wasn't happy with it. And I was glad to just see her tonight go, oh my gosh, really? That's exciting. Not, wait, well, you didn't tell me? Well, now I have to pack.
Yeah.
Well, she really could have gone either way with the Shannon that we've seen. And she chose to just be all about it.
Yes.
Yeah. She did, and that was really good. And her bag was interesting. It was so large and an interesting shape for an overnight trip.
Yes.
Yeah, one pointed out
very
it was like a body bag.
I
right?
think I said that.
Yeah, like you could literally kill someone and then
It did. It
walk
looked
out
like a
of
body bag. Then she folded it in half.
Yeah.
So
Ready to go.
they were saying that this is a birthday, but it's also the anniversary of the proposal, correct? So he proposed to her on her birthday, and then they're going to the place where they got married. So this is, so there's a lot here in their history coming together.
Yes.
And in the middle of all this, Shannon's regaling about all the birthday messages she's received. And then Vicki flashes through some flashback of her leaving some voicemail, a cheap birthday voicemail.
That was so cheap.
Basically saying, like, I'm having a party for my own birthday. It's about me. Do you want to come? Let me know. And it's like, wow, really? Wow. You choose to invite her on her actual birthday.
And then make the phone call about you.
Exactly.
Oh, Vicki.
And then she says Kelly's name first out of all the people that she's inviting. She
Right.
couldn't say Tamra first.
I want you to know I'm inviting Kelly.
Those two are, they're clearly only tight because the show is in production.
Yeah.
They
and
both
and
need
there's nobody
someone.
else that's going to be clicky with them right now.
Yeah.
I just felt like the whole thing was super shady, and I feel like it wasn't coming from a sincere place. Like, you're going to invite them, and then you're going to just, it was so Mean Girls. It was, I don't know. It
was pretty mean.
I didn't like it.
Do we think that Kelly is palling around with Vicki so hard right now because she's really not connecting with any of the other ladies? I know that
Yes,
Megan brought her
absolutely.
in, but Megan's really distracted right now. She's
That's true.
busy getting ejaculated, as Tamra calls it. She's, her mind is elsewhere, and she's kind of busy focusing on her health and herself. And who of the rest of the ladies enjoys her company? Not any of them, I don't think. I think Vicki is the only one that's really attaching herself to her. And Vicki, we know at this point, is really like a lone wolf. She's kind of on her own. So it's interesting, the pairing, how they've sort of been pushed towards one another,
It works for them for sure.
It works
because
for them right now.
And it's not surprising that Kelly seems to bring out the worst in Vicki. I think, we've seen a lot of different Vicki Gunvalsons over the years, and this kind of the voicemail and the pettiness and the talking behind their backs and that sort of thing. They're getting right together, and it's not a good look. I think
She's
Vicki's going to
feeding it.
decide that Kelly is not a good look for her, and she's going to drop her.
This is what's working for Vicki is, though, I feel like Vicki knows that she is the OG of the OC, and this woman is like coming into the circle, and she's kind of just making Vicki empowered. Like, I want to be mentored through you, and I feel like that's what Vicki loves.
Oh, yes.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I feel like that's just her vibe.
Yeah.
You know,
She loves an intern.
It works. Yeah, exactly.
Vicki loves an intern.
It's a very
Yes.
intern. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
my thought.
Kelly is so far up her behind, calling her the guru of the OC. She's like the most zen person in all of Orange County. And all this.
Zen.
I'm like,
She's never from Orange County originally. Hold on.
yes, but yeah, when I think of Zen people, I don't think of Vicki. I don't think of any of the housewives, really. I think the closest to Zen is probably that fool Lynn Curtin, because she didn't know what was going on.
Exactly. Yes.
She was just like, I had a lobotomy.
Or Carlton Jebbia, because she was knocked out at the club last night.
Oh, was she?
Yes, from Beverly Hills. They had her hauled out on an ambulance. This is former Real Housewife of Beverly Hills, Carlton.
Oh, wow.
From Bootsy Bellows. She was completely unconscious.
Wow.
Do you think someone drugged her?
Nope. I think she's skinny and she drank too much.
Ooh.
She probably don't get out much. She's got kids.
What a night.
She's been turning up on social media a lot lately, and I'm still not about it.
Not about it.
You know, I never turned off Beverly Hills Housewives until she was around.
Uh-oh.
Anyway.
Oh,
Yes.
Carlton.
Oh, I'm such a bitch. Anyway, let's talk about a few other things that went on. So, Gage, Jenny, Jeff from Flipping Out showed up at the party. Good friends of Shannon, legitimately good friends. I think they said they were friends for years. Maybe it was like, I don't know who or what. Maybe it was more Jenny and Shannon, but whatever. They have an
Because he
established
flips
relationship.
houses, right? And
Yeah.
David is a contractor, so maybe that's the
Perhaps. I'm sure there may be some circles of people who have updated homes or whatever.
Well, and we've been hearing a lot about the fact that Shannon's friends with them with this whole drama that they've been having with Heather Dubrow.
Yes.
So when they were there, when we were finally seeing them on the show, I was like, yeah,
There they are.
juice it up.
Well, to make it even more interesting, Gage and Jeff are going to Dr. Potter and Flipping Out for their surrogate mother.
Oh.
Yes. So
Wow, it's all in the
playing out at
family.
the same time. Yes.
Yeah.
And
How big is Orange County?
well, it's
smaller than we
Smaller
thought.
than you'd
funny
think.
enough, the fertility clinic is in Encino.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
This is all very interesting, Grant.
yeah. So I did a little research. I just had a curiosity of where everyone's going. I'm just curious. Where is this? And
Where are these
and somewhere in the middle is that crazy woman with the big boobs.
Which one? There's so many.
Dr. Potter's wife, ex-wife.
Oh, Jackie.
Our favorite, Nina.
Nina.
Oh, sorry.
Nina.
Sorry.
Yes.
Say it, Blake, say it.
Oh, you so ghetto.
You sound like the Taco Bell Chihuahua. I love it. No, really,
So
though,
good.
where are Jackie and Nina? Where are you?
I love how she was on the show for 5 whole seconds, and she's been our just
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she should
favorite.
get paid for like 4
Oh,
episodes.
It was
They need to
great.
fly
for
her in
parents.
and at least make her a bartender. So on the after show, we can
Yeah.
at least maybe ask the girl a question. And this is what people are talking about. It's funny because every episode is opening up with that previously in the Housewives of Orange County, and it
Her
shows that
scene.
scene. So come on, where the
I
hell
know.
is she?
She's a highlight. She's
and
a highlight
I
of
feel like
OC.
if we called her up, I feel like she'd be more than happy to go back on the show.
Oh yeah,
Pretty sure.
absolutely.
I don't think she's like.
Sure.
I don't think she's holding out. But.
She didn't get those girls out for nothing.
Yes. So what else can we say? So oh yeah, Kelly commented on her relationship, how sometimes she's can't wait to get a divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this isn't the
interesting.
first time she's talked like that.
Yeah.
Really, since day one, she's really not very positive. She's not very in the marriage with Michael. She almost seems a little stuck. Like she really had wanted to get out initially when they were going to get a divorce, but seemed that maybe he would not oblige her. He did not want to give her that divorce.
I've said this before. He's the one who has the money.
Right.
And
Yes.
she's not going to lose out by getting. She probably was engaged and realized that when she was going to get out of that marriage, she was going to end up with nothing. We've learned that she's been a millionaire for years. So perhaps
A multi-millionaire.
Okay, thank you.
Multi-millionaire.
So perhaps it was just too much to handle. So for as many people do, it's common. People stay married for a business transaction. They stay for the convenience of bills. So maybe that's it. But
Well, you
you,
know,
get what you pay for in life, and you live like
so
that.
true. Grant,
This is
so true.
But I find it odd that she is concerned about her daughter hearing rumors that she's a prostitute,
believe
but
that.
yet she doesn't have a problem with her daughter having to watch her speak that way about the daughter's father on TV.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
think that's interesting. Do what you got to do, but
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah, well, I mean, even the conversation between Kelly and Megan, one of Megan's points was similar to that. She was saying, okay, you are so concerned about your reputation and some other woman calling you a prostitute or whatever she said, but at the same time, you're not worried about damaging your own reputation by using this language and being so aggressive and behaving the way that you have.
I think she
Right.
acts on impulse. She's one of those like she just if she feels attacked, she doesn't even think about anything. And I mean, it's gonna be interesting if she comes back next season and we'll see this growth and she's like the team player. But right now, I'm not really figuring her out.
Well,
You
stay
know?
tuned for our news and gossip segment, Thomas.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm here for
okay.
it.
Because there are some details that may support that these two will
All
be filing
right.
for divorce soon.
I'm here
So
for
just
it.
stay tuned.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere.
Oh, this side of the table
yes.
is exciting.
Yes, we're
She
here.
wouldn't be the first housewife to use this as a launching pad to create a new life / get a divorce. So.
You know what?
Oh, wow.
Great. Great. I
You're
think
on
that's
it.
great. Yeah, because
on board.
Divorce.
okay, just imagine
There's no storyline. I'm not like now we're not deep into the season, but I'm not seeing anything from Kelly that I'm just like really loving. There's nothing that she's bringing to the table that I'm like, you know what I mean? It's just a lot of fighting. It's a lot of just calling each other out. It's more like I feel like she's acting out for reality TV. It's like
be. Very
she's
well could be.
not.
Yeah. I bet Heather would agree with you.
Yeah.
She certainly would. Yeah, and we know that Kelly is college educated. But I'd like to know how much she's really actually worked during her time that she's been a multimillionaire. Maybe not so much. Maybe not at all.
Yeah.
So girls gotta work. And if it means going back on the OC, Real Housewives of OC to make
that
some of that
cash.
money.
She did claim that she was working in advertising and making her own money before they were married. But how?
Before
But to
they
what
were
extent? Who
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I became a multimillionaire tomorrow, I probably wouldn't work anymore either. Just saying. So I can't
There
fault
you
her for
go.
that.
I thought you were going to say, I would leave my husband so fast.
Oh no. Hopefully I'd stay with him forever. But
Yes.
But I'll buy myself a big fat ring.
I would want to work because I wanted to, not because I had to.
Speaking about staying together with someone forever, we'll talk about the renewal ceremony, and we'll talk about just kind of our impressions of it. And the pastor had a nice significance. First person that Shannon called when she learned of the affair. So it was kind of a nice full circle moment for all, and Shannon had a lot to say. I'm very surprised. It was very much a success. David, you did yourself from the Sizzler last year.
Yes.
That was bad.
For sure.
Yeah, and it was like you said, a very lovely full circle with the pastor coming back to officiate their vow renewal. I did think that was very sweet. But she specifically said that it was this man, this pastor, who if it weren't for him,
Saved.
Yes, he saved their marriage. If it weren't for this pastor, she and David would not be back together. And I recall seeing a lot of footage of the relationship counselor, whoever they went to.
Oh, yeah.
And they worked a lot with her. I'd say she was instrumental also.
Maybe she was there.
Just
and they
saying,
just
just an
didn't call her out.
observation.
Maybe she could have got those front row seats that no one used.
Yeah, why was that? Why were those seats empty?
Because the girls were supposed to sit there. I believe someone said it's for the girls, but then they came and ended up just standing up with Shannon and David.
Okay.
Yeah, and good for the
I'll
kids
take it.
too. I'm glad
Yeah.
that Shannon's, she stood by her husband, and she definitely thought more not just about herself but the whole entire dynamic. So
Yeah, and I'm gonna give David a lot of credit for this.
Yes.
When it kind of started to materialize on the show, I thought, oh, production set him up good. They're making him look good. But then we saw him making the phone calls, asking for Heather's help, hearing about the group text messages and the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
That was
I
funny.
mean, he genuinely did this because he wanted to for her, and he got joy out of seeing it all go down. I did hate that there was still so much affair talk.
Yes.
Even with the pastor and everything, it's like we all know what happened.
I had the
This
same
was about
note.
moving on from that. Maybe the pastor didn't need to mention in front of everybody during the ceremony.
Just reference a past that you've overcome together.
Yeah.
We're in a better place. Like, you don't
Right.
need to go into let's go. Yeah, she
The
called me.
specifics.
the ugly.
Spare us
People
the
thought it was.
specifics.
Yeah,
people
it was-
thought it was over.
Yeah, I
It
know.
sounded like an E-news report. You know.
A little bit, yes.
And he kept going on and on. He's like, most people would have said, I'm done with this. It's over. Get away from me. I hate you forever. It's like, okay.
Okay,
we
yes.
got it.
Let's bring it down a notch.
So I have a question. I have a question for all of you and all of you listening. I want to know, what do you think? Is David redeemed at this point?
Yes, in my opinion.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like I said, I want to find somebody that's going to do something special like that for me. So,
God,
I
yeah.
feel like Shannon it was like watching a fairy tale unravel. It was really
was
sweet.
nice.
Yeah.
I don't know, made me happy.
I think so. I've listened to some other podcasts, and they think that these two are just putting everything on to make things look good.
Yes.
But I don't know if I agree with that. I'd like to think no. I'd like to think these two
Right.
aren't just living together to try to impress people on reality TV. They don't seem the type.
No.
No,
I
I think Shannon's just too much of a honest, loose cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Agreed.
think she's capable of keeping up a ruse like that. To be
right.
honest with you.
Right.
And you
Right.
saw her reaction when she was seeing her guest at the reception, so it was nice.
And
yeah.
they
She was
still,
truly
the first thing they
surprised.
wanted to do when they got in that hotel room was close the bedroom door.
Yeah.
I mean,
That is true. Yeah, I would have to say that there was probably a moment or two where I did think that. Thinking like, well, okay, so you did have this really major kind of downfall in your relationship. And then it's like very soon. It's very soon to do the whole vow renewal. I think Dawn and Vicki did a vow renewal right before it was.
Right before.
did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
For me, I almost feel like vow renewals are a little bit of like a sign of the end. Yeah, it's glorious and beautiful and lovely when it's happening, but is it really real?
It's like a last-ditch effort, like getting a
Last-ditch
tattoo of someone's name.
Yeah, because I mean,
wow,
you know,
yeah.
Which Tamra did right before the Simon thing,
Yeah.
right?
Oh my gosh.
She did. See, and you know, David, like, you know, is he redeemed? Well, sure, and he might have even been redeemed before this whole event. But it's interesting because for you know years, maybe prior to the affair, during the affair, and after the affair, up until this point, he really wasn't showing Shannon a lot, and she was upset by her birthday last year, and who knows how many other holidays she was upset by. So come this time, it was beautiful. David did a great job. Everything was lovely, but I sure hope that it doesn't come back to bite David in the butt, because
Yeah.
for years to come, nothing's ever going to be as fabulous as this. and she probably will let him know it.
Yeah, it's true. Very hard to top something like this.
David, 10 years ago, you did this fabulous thing, and you've not done a thing since.
He wakes up on her birthday and she's sitting in front of the TV watching the old episode.
Oh,
It's on DVR.
Remember this, honey? Yeah.
oh my God! Wow. The moment I really liked this episode, if we were doing Cheers and Cheers, which we should bring back, but if we were to do that, that might just be the moment where she said, like, I just want to sit and soak all of this in, because like there's so much going on around you, people you didn't expect to see. You know, it's like, who do you talk to first? What do you do first? You know, so like I've been at events like that where it's like, oh, I just wish that we could just like let's slow down time a little bit so I can actually enjoy this moment. So I liked that. I can relate to that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if we can get a reality crew filming your next big event.
Oh, well.
And you can watch it back as much as you want.
I don't know about that. I'd love to do a show, but we can shoot something here. Let's just say for Grant's Rants coming up. Anyway, let's talk about some news and gossip if we're good. News and gossip, ladies,
let's
gentlemen.
do it.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Well, let's just jump right into it since I teased you all before. Kelly and Michael's divorce, is it back on? Well, the internet is going crazy with rumors because they have put their home on the market for sale. Yes, we know that's the classic Hollywood sign of the beginning of the end. This is very interesting, and we've talked a lot about their house, and it's 4,400 square feet. They purchased it only 2 years ago for, listen to this. So they're selling it, they put it on the market for $6.25 million.
Okay.
They bought it 2 years ago for just about half that. Half that. So they are making a profit on this home. They have put some money into it and done some renovations, but they're gonna make a little change off of this.
You know why? I read an interview. I saw an interview with her on E! News. She was saying that people have put offers on her house since she's been on the show.
Wow.
So that's probably why she thinks she can get that price, because now it has the OC, Real House of OC Bravo ties.
I mean, that's a very high. That's a very high price.
Yeah, well, if you have a bar on every floor, then I guess we'll add another $2 million on
Well
that.
worth it, everyone.
But don't you have to be on the sand to ask for that amount?
Yeah.
I know, that's the interesting thing. We've talked about the house having another house in front of it, not really being on the beach.
Right.
All that, they try to snow over it in the real estate
I have
listings
to
as
look up the
well.
listing.
But if you look really close, you can see that other house is right there, and it's only one place where she has the view.
Yes.
And,
I mean,
know
it's
kind of
still
dangerous,
great, but I don't know if it's worth that
No.
market value. But
Right.
still
That'll
great.
be
Still a
very
great home.
interesting to see if this show has that much pull for her.
Yes.
Real estate wise.
I'd love to
Right.
see it. Well, perhaps we will be seeing Vicki's new boyfriend next season. We've talked a little bit about him. His name is Steve Lodge. And she's finally taken a little break from work, went on an Alaskan cruise with Steve and Brianna and Ryan and her boys.
Wow.
So obviously, she says Brianna, quote, really likes him. And Vicki says, it's really neat to have a family relationship. I.e., it's nice to have somebody that your daughter doesn't hate. So congratulations to her. They really look happy in the postings and etc. Meanwhile, we talked a little bit about Heather and Terry's book last week, and you guys were really interested, so I wanted to give you a little more dish. It's coming out on September 6th and is called Dr. and Mrs. Guinea Pig Present the Only Guide You'll Need to the Best Anti-Aging Treatments. That is a mouthful. However, it's just exactly what the title says. It's about non-invasive plastic surgery. They say, you know, we've tried it all, and we want to tell you what to do and what not to do. They say there's a lot of treatments that are popular that people spend their time and money on that don't work. And they're going to tell you all of that.
Is Heather now admitting she's done things to her face?
I think so. I think that's definitely going to be part of this.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, those two, I feel like, definitely are appropriate to speak of such things.
Oh, totally.
You know?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I'm very interested. I would buy the book. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, September 6th, you said. Coming up.
Let's buy one copy and share it.
I love it. We're going to do this.
Or they can come on the show and bring us a couple copies. Just
Yeah, I like that even
Heather,
better.
come by.
Do you hear that, Dr. and Mrs. Guinea Pig? The invitation
Cheers, right here.
stands.
And we still have OG of the OC, Vicki, on the show, but we have not seen Miss Gina Keogh for quite a few seasons. However, she was on Oprah Winfrey's own network, Where Are They Now? Wow. This last week, you guys have to catch this. It was so juicy. She talked about her family being the only family that was filmed initially, and that's what was sent to Bravo to get the show greenlit. The producer lived right near Gina. So she was kind of taking credit in this interview for the show all together, all the franchises.
Oh.
I kind of love that she's got that attitude.
Yeah, me too.
About it.
I love Gina.
I wonder if I wonder if Bravo would ever bring her back. Just like
Well, it
as a
doesn't
main.
sound like she is willing to come back. She
Yeah,
talked a lot
she
about
doesn't
what
want to.
Vicki's gone through on the show and that Vicki is very sad. Initially, even the residents of Coto de Caso were against the show going on. They were like, oh no, our kids are going to get kidnapped. They were having like press conferences and boycotting things. So that is just so interesting. One more little tidbit, and I have forgotten about this because it was over 11 years ago. Well, 11 seasons ago, about 11 years.
Yeah.
But the reason why this show kind of took off in the first place is because it was during the writer's strike and there was literally nothing else new on television. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It would have been, what, like 07 or so? When
Yeah.
it started,
Yeah.
I think. 08 maybe. So, hey, thank you, writer's strike, for The Real Housewives of Orange County and Beverly Hills, and
Thank
Miami, and
you.
Atlanta, and Potomac, and Dallas, and
That was
New
the,
York and New Jersey.
Yeah, that was the real birth of the boom of reality TV. That was the time to work in reality TV.
It was new, and fresh, and exciting.
Yes.
and
Loved it.
juicy.
Juicy.
Like an
Exactly
orange.
what it was.
Well, that was some interesting gossip. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, you
Good
guys
stuff, right?
leave
The
our
people of-
comments below.
the people of Koto were nervous their children were going to get kidnapped?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think they were just thinking like that it brings a lot of attention to the town. You know, this was right after, right?
Yeah,
like,
but they
Laguna
live behind the
Beach and
gates.
the hills and all that, right?
Are the gates
Yeah.
not good enough?
There's
that's a
Are they that
smart way.
fancy?
that place. You have
That's a good point.
That place you have to. Like, I have a friend that lives there in college, and you had to go in through the main gate, and then there's sub gates
It's
to sub
very-
communities. So
Yes,
there's no one.
exclusive.
There's no
No.
one getting in.
No one's
like,
getting kidnapped there.
Yeah.
Everyone's fine.
And it's very like long parkway, beautiful, but long roads. It's not like a typical like city block. You know, I mean, it's like there's space. Like no one's gonna be wandering around. You're definitely gonna get caught or something. You're not gonna get anywhere. So I don't know if I have to worry about that. But it's interesting.
very
to think.
interesting. I
Yeah, it's just all around. Anyway, let us know below these comments what you think of this episode. But more, I want to know if you think that David Bedore is redeemed. I'm curious to know what people think. We seem to think so. In the meantime, you guys can keep up with us. Any final thoughts?
I'm excited.
Can't wait for more.
next
Another
episode.
Can't wait for Glamis.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yes, next week. Next week looks good. Ryan's gonna surprise Brianna.
The Heather and Kelly sit down. I'm waiting for it.
I feel like that
Yes.
might be the moment of the season.
Well, Kelly
Yeah.
wants an apology, and I don't
She-
think Heather's gonna get it.
No.
Out of her mind.
That's
Anyways,
low base bull stuff.
that's exactly what it is.
All right, where can we keep up with all of you in the world of social media?
Yes, I have been Blake V. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Blake V Media.
Hey guys, I'm Thomas Orlina. Find me at Thomas Orlina on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook.
Guys, I would love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, Christy Reports, and check out ChristyReports.com. Please follow me on all social media at Christy Reports. You guessed it, because y'all are smart.
And you guys can find me over on Twitter at Grants__rants. And on my podcast, Grants Rants Hollywood Talk. More coming with that. It's been a little bit of a hiatus. I've been moving, but more to come, more to come. We'll be back here next week with the big sit down with Kelly and Heather and more of the OC ladies.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.